Morning everybody. I have another business tip for you this morning, and this time it's about how to choose a business name that you're going to be able to grow into a brand. So when you're choosing a business name, there's quite a few things you have to keep in mind. One of them is whether you're actually infringing on anybody else's intellectual property. So that means has somebody else got a trademark for that name. So it's really important to do your trademark searches and make sure that you're not going to get copped with a lawsuit. The next point is to make sure that it's available across all social media platforms. So that means doing a quick search to see whether somebody else is already using that name. And the reason that's important is because you don't want people trying to find you and instead finding another business, and that business getting your traffic instead of you. The other point to keep in mind is to make sure that you can secure the domains. So GoDaddy are a little bit sneaky, so don't put any names into GoDaddy unless you're ready to purchase them. And some common URL extensions to buy would be the .com, the .com.au, the .net, .net.au, .info, and any other extensions that might relate to your business. If you're having stuff manufactured in another country, you might consider buying the URL extension for that country as well, so that the manufacturer doesn't set up a website with your name and start selling your products over there. The last thing to keep in mind is to make sure that it's available on ASIC to register as a business name, and that's very different to registering a trademark. And the reason being is because ASIC have legislation which requires everybody who's operating a business under a different name to the entity to have a business name registered attached to the ABN of that entity. And that's so that people can find out who the legal entity behind a business is. Because if somebody needs to invoice you, or if somebody wants to sue you, they need to know what the legal entity behind the business is. And ASIC can actually fine you up to $3,000 if you don't have a business name registered and you're not operating under the same name as your legal entity. So it's really important to make sure you register with ASIC too. And the last, I know I said that was the last thing, but there's one more thing. You need to make sure that people can be indoctrinated with your name. So that means don't choose a name that's your name, because it's really hard to separate yourself from the brand if you are the brand down the track. So try and choose a name that you can create a tribe around. And he's saying hello to people at the train station. And a name that you can then step out of the business and somebody else can step in. So I hope that helps. Have an amazing day, and I'll come to you soon with another business tip.